Hello, my name's Kiwi, and I work for Mary's Meals, and it's just really lovely to be here and to be able to share a little bit about what we do. So Mary's Meals were described as a simple solution to world hunger. We're a group of thousands of people all over the world who believe that in 2025, in this world of plenty, every child should have enough food to eat and be able to go to school. Basic human needs. We provide daily school meals to children in some of the world's poorest communities as an encouragement to come to school and to provide hope for the future through education. So Mary's Meals was started by this man, Magnus Barrow. In the 1980s, he visited Medjugorje as a teenager with his siblings, and he had a life-changing experience, which had many ripple effects, including the reversion of his own parents and their call to turn their family house into a house of prayer, Craig Lodge. Since that early trip to Medjugorje, Magnus's faith grew, and he was continuously stepping out in faith, saying yes to God in daily actions. And in the early 90s, a news bulletin about the Bosnian War really struck him because he was remembering the goodness of the people of Medjugorje, and he decided he wanted to help in some way. So they set up a little appeal. They were asking for clothes, medicine, food, and Magnus borrowed a shed from his dad. And they brought all this over to Bosnia many times. But every time they came back, it was filled, that tiny shed was filled to the roof again. And Magnus was starting to realise, maybe this is not a one-time thing. Maybe this is something more. So he quit his job. He was a fish farmer at the time, and he set up a charity, Scottish International Relief. And for 10 years, they were helping in lots of different ways all over the world. Anywhere they knew someone, they would try to help. So it took them to Romania to build houses, to South America in natural disasters, just anywhere they could. But there wasn't like a clear plan until 2002. So in 2002, Magnus had went to Malawi, and he'd met this lovely family, Emma and her 6 children. Emma was quite ill, and her husband had died the year before. So Magnus had been chatting to the family about different things, and he got chatting to the eldest son, Edward. He was about 14 at the time, and Magnus just asked him the basic things of, what would you like to be when you grow up? Well, what are your hopes for the future? And Edward. So we're feeding in 16 countries around the world. Countries in South America, in Africa, and in Asia. We work in some of the most remote and hardest to reach places. Places devastated by conflict, natural disasters, and climate change. If our school meals programme wasn't in these schools, the children would be sent out to work or to beg. So we're a low frills charity, as much as possible to reach as many children as possible. So it's a global average of £19.15 to feed a child for a full school year. I don't know about you, but when I go for a coffee, you buy maybe 2 coffees, something nice with it, and it gets pretty close to that £19.15. So it's just amazing to think that Mary's Meals can feed a child every day in school for that. And that works out as around 10p per meal. And this is because of some of the really specific things that Mary's Meal does in our programmes. So we're community owned and volunteer led. It's not like someone coming from Derry or Belfast or and saying this is what's going to happen. It's a partnership. Mary's Meals provides the food and the training and the support. But we need local people on the ground to volunteer their time to cook and to serve the food. So in Malawi alone, we have over 85,000 volunteers. Mothers, grandmothers, fathers volunteering their time to cook and to serve the food to their own children, often getting up really early in the morning. Another really key thing is that we're locally sourced. So in order to keep the costs low, but then also to support the local economy, we buy food from those local businesses, those local farmers. So there's a real sense of pride in the project too, that it's a type of food that the children will be familiar with. So, for example, in Malawi, the children receive maize-based porridge called lakuni fala, and it's enriched with vitamins and minerals. At Mary's Meals, we really love to know what we're doing works. So we do a lot of research, asking the children and the parents. And these are the things we found. The things you'd hope to find. Children feel less hungry at school. More children start enrolling in the school, and they want to come every day. Teachers would often tell us that before Mary's Meals came to the school, the children wouldn't stay the whole day. They would be too tired, they would have headaches, and there just wasn't any point for them to stay. So the teachers then see that the children stay for longer and are able to learn. And also, they say it's often very loud as well, because the children are able to play. The children are happier. They do better in their assessments. And then all of these factors, there's support from the programme, from the local community, because they see that it's helping their children. One really lovely statistic that I love about Mary's Meals is that 50% of the children receiving Mary's Meals are girls. In many of the countries where we work, even in 2025, it's still not seen as beneficial to send girls to school, as they're needed at home. But then when a meal is provided, it lightens the burden for a family, and that girl gets the access to education. One of those girls is Lydia. She's from Ethiopia. She's 16 and she's at primary school. And our team at Mary's Meals met her 5 years ago when she was 11. She's a really confident young girl, and she has really big dreams of being a pilot when she grows up. And you could really see at the time that her confidence was really growing, and she described her love of reading and her joy at receiving Mary's Meals. We know that her confidence comes from her mother, Shuet, a teacher at the school. She's clearly a role model for Lydia, but also all the other young female pupils as well, and she's a fierce advocate for them. Speaking 5 years ago when we first met her, she said, "My parents didn't want me to go to school, but my daughter doesn't need to face those things. Before, there was a push by the family to get married because they didn't think girls could achieve anything or even to be educated. Now there's no such thinking about girls. Females can achieve their goals if they're educated." Over the past 5 years, Ethiopia has been devastated by war and extreme hunger. And throughout those years, Mary's Meals has continued to provide meals to families as schools became makeshift shelters and to rapidly increase our feeding programs. So in the past year, our feeding program in Ethiopia went from feeding 25,000 children to 110,000 children. And it's just having that lifeline that we are in those countries that are really difficult, but we're not going away. We're there as long as we're needed. Lydia still receives Mary's Meals at school, and although these years of difficulty have impacted her, she still has big dreams. Though she did say that she's not really sure she wants to be a pilot anymore, but she's still thinking about what she would like to do. Her mother says, educating a girl means you educate the whole family. Girls are close to the whole family because they become the mother, and they have a big chance to change the whole family. Our founder Magnus likes to say that Mary's Meals is lots and lots of little acts of love, all added together to make something really beautiful. One of those stories of love that I really love, it's one of my favourite, can be found in Caoimhe Mountain, Malawi, where there's a really remote school at the top of a mountain. It's 3 hours walk to the nearest road. When our team started to think about could we get Mary's Meals to this school, the road was an obstacle. We were really thinking, how are we going to reach this school? And the mothers and the grandmothers were the quickest to say, it's fine. We'll come to the bottom of the mountain. We'll carry the food to the top for our children. They regularly walk barefoot for 3 hours up a mountain, carrying 1, 2, maybe 3 10 kg bags of porridge mix on their heads for the love of their children. This is just one of so many lovely stories of love that make this work of Mary's Meals possible. We know that we need more people to get involved because we have a long way to go. We've reached 3 million, which is an amazing number, but we know that there's still 71 million children out of school around the world. And Mary's Meals has big dreams. We want to reach them all, but we need a lot of help. So I would invite all of you to reflect on if there's a small act of love that you could carry out for these children, for those the children that we currently feed and those that are waiting. So firstly, and most importantly, pray. We see the fruit of prayers. I think even standing here talking to you is a fruit of prayer. I prayed to be able to find new opportunities for Mary's Meals to come to Derry, and it happened. So please pray. Remember this work of Our Lady when you pray the rosary. Secondly, spread the word. You know people that I don't know, and you never know the ripple effect of just telling one other person. Maybe it's donating one-off or a regular gift. 10p provides a meal for a child. Or maybe it's volunteering your time, anywhere from once a year to once a week, to help us spread the word or to fundraise. No matter where you are in the world, we'd especially love a few more volunteers in Derry to join the 3 that we have. And then could you recommend us to someone else? We give talks to anyone who would like to hear about Mary's Meals. Maybe you could introduce us. So no matter what you do, it's a little act of love, and we are so grateful for your support. And then finally, please, you can find out more. Learn more about Mary's Meals on our website, whether it's marysmeals.org.uk, and check out our free films. They show the stories of the children and how it impacts them. And also check out the shed that fed 2 million children. There's some of them at the back. Please take one, take it for free, and pass it on to someone else if you really like it. Help us spread the word. So thank you so much for listening, and God bless.
Caoimhe, thank you so much.